Il-lejla tajba lil kulħadd. Grazzi l-ewwel net tal-interess u minn hawnhekk nirringrazzja mill-bidu net kemm lil Gemma kif ukoll l-HSBC Malta Foundation tas-sosten. Diversi minnkom kienu fil-laqat li jkollna ta' kull xahar u semmit kemm il-darba l-bżonn ta' financial literacy u li nilħqu diversi gruppi li naħdmu magħhom illi nindunaw illi daw il-ħiliet u ma ħiliet neqsin u li jistgħu fil-verità jagħmlu differenza fil-ħajja ta' wħud minn dawk li naħdu magħhom. Jiena mhux se ndum nitkellem illum. Hello? Tisimgħuni. Jiena mhux se ndum nitkellem, però rrid nirringrazzja l kulħadd, speċjalment kifet il-min ħanteres qegħdin 22 parroċċa rappreżentati, 8 entitajiet tal-Knisja u 3 entitajiet mhux, 3 NGOs oħra li mhux dioċeżani imma li jikkollaboraw mal-parroċċi rispettivi tagħhom. U allura għamilna ħafna kuraġġ u nagħmlu ħafna kuraġġ li din tassew tkun il-laqgħa illi tul dan is-sentejn inħarsu lura għaliha u ngħidu minn hemmhekk bdejna u għamilna diversi affarijiet sbieħ. Nammetti u irrid neknoloġija li xogħod minnkom il-materjal per se li se nitkellmu fuq illum mhux se jkun xejn ġdid. Ġifieri naf li fostkom hemm anke professjonisti fil-qasam finanzjarju u allura ma naħsibx li se nagħmlukom affarijiet ġodda bħala materjal fuq il-qasam tal-finanzi. Però ovvjament jagħmel sens li tkunu hawnhekk magħna peress li tajjeb li nkunu flimkien f'dak li mbagħad se nkunu nafu x'qed noffru fil-komunitajiet tagħna. Wara din il-laqgħa se tirċivu email mill-ewwel ġifieri b'daqsxejn evaluation u nixtiequ li tkunu liberi ħafna f'dak li tgħidulna. Ġifieri din se tkun il-laqgħa li se nipproponu dak li għandna f'moħħna, imma mbagħad ovvjament kulħadd fil-komunità tiegħu irid jagħmel it-traduzzjoni biex jadatta għal bżonnijiet reali ta' hemmhekk. Għalhekk għandna sentejn biex dik it-traduzzjoni ssir pass pass u bil-għaqal u fil-fatt inkunu nistgħu fl-aħħar ngħidu isma' wasalna u s-suċċess kien dat tip ta' livell. Fil-fatt waħda mill-mistoqsijiet hija proprju x'taħsbu li jistgħu jkunu l-indikaturi ta' suċċess ta' dan il-ħidma mhux bil-fors se nistennew li Malta kollha tkun tifhem eżatt kif għandha tħaddem flus, ejja nifhemu. Imma ma jfissirx li daqshekk ma nkunux wasalna mkien, ġifieri kulħadd irid jgħinna nifhmu anke għal xi qed nimmiraw skont il-lokalità, skont il-persuni li qed naħdmu magħhom. Jien min-naħa tiegħi nerġa' nirringrazzjakom, inħares il-qudiem wara din laqgħa se jkun laqgħat oħrajn fejn nistednukom propju biex infasslu il-passi li jmiss, però għalissa se nħalli f'idej Pem illi se tmexxina fil-laqgħa tal-lum. Excuse me, I just realized now that the meeting today will be happening in English. This does not mean that in the future we won't have sessions in Maltese. But the session for today will be in English. It's being recorded for the benefit of some other collaborators who are interested in this session and asked me to record it so that they can then join us in the process. Yes, from here on, I can leave in the able hands of Pam. Thank you, Pam.
Yes, thank you, and hello, good evening to all. I'm Pamela Patch, working within the Department of Social Security. I've been working here since 2008, firstly as an assessor and now I'm a checker. I also joined Gemma, which was launched in 2017, so I have seen it grow to what it has become today. An initiative that helps you know, plan, and act. Today, I hereby present an introduction to financial capability organized by Gemma, HSBC, Malta Foundation, and Caritas. I believe that this session and what Gemma offers is of interest to you as service providers and something you can pass on to your service users, okay? So Being able to manage personal finances is an important skill, which is often taken for granted. I mean, let's face it, at times, including myself, have this I know it attitude. And that we think that there is nothing new to learn, okay? When reality shows us just the opposite. I mean, we have, when we make space for learning, we grow. Like I've been at the department and Gemma for years, but I've never stopped learning. This session identifies and explains key aspects of financial capability to equip participants, you, with the basic skills to lead a financially sound life. So the first part is going to be about budgeting and planning for your money. Wants and needs. In a nutshell, definitely wants, not necessary for survival. Items we wish for, items we can do without. Needs, on the other hand, are necessary for survival, such as water, food, or housing. Obviously, although you might still need to make choices about needs, okay, such as which brands to buy, which will impact on the price.
Sorry, may I ask if you will be sharing this PowerPoint with us, or the?
Yes, sure. Yes, definitely, yes. In fact, it includes links as well, informative links, which you can browse and see for yourself, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what would you consider as a need for you?
Food, clothing.
Wi-Fi.
Yes, yes, okay. Sorry for the name. Sorry for the. So yes, let me know.
Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Where to live?
Shelter. Yes. The basic needs: water, food, right?
Transport.
Okay. Yes.
Medication.
Yes. Health.
Laptops for some, for students, especially to study.
Clothes.
Electricity and gas to cook.
Agreed.
Medication.
A car, being mobile.
In fact, I think that in today's world, needs have a broader definition, have a broader meaning, and they have to be seen as those things required to meet certain goals. Whereas wants refer to those things that are non-essential, which only serve to give instant gratification, right? Instant gratification meaning instant pleasure, instant satisfaction, which most probably does not last for long. So here are factors that can influence our spending, okay? Family, we often learn our money habits from relatives. What they buy tends to influence what we buy, and how they use the money tends to affect the way we use it as well. Advertising, I think it is the purpose of advertising to make us long for that particular object or service. It creates wants in our minds, tries to change that want into a must-have product. You may not actually need, for example, another pair of trainers, but through advertising, we start to feel the need to buy them. Another factor is money available. We all want to treat ourselves, whether it is an ice cream, a t-shirt of a football team we support, a holiday or a car. Such treats are dependent on disposable money, meaning available money, together with being able to differentiate between needs and wants. And I must add another word here, prioritize. Furthermore, there are events like Christmas and Black Friday sales. They are all nudge us to spend, whether it is for ourselves or for others. Furthermore, Don't beneath, there's it in friends. In fact, most of us want to be accepted by our friends, and so we buy what they buy to be a part of the group. We want the brands or trends. We may like the products and services that they endorse, and we want the same despite the cost. Okay, so what influences your spending? Businesses are keen to understand what existing and potential, meaning existing and new customers do online. It is as if when we log on to the internet, we leave digital footprints. They collect information about what we search for, what social media platforms we use, what shopping sites we log on to, what products we look for. This is called targeted digital marketing, okay? They target different groups of people based on their interests. Have you noticed that when you browse, you might get adverts about it? These adverts start to pop up on other sites that are not related to the search item. Let's say you search for information related to weddings, and adverts related to wedding venues and caterers start to crop up. So have you come across adverts popping up when you are searching for something on the internet? And what can you do about it? What do you think?
You can turn off.
Ignore them many times.
You can turn off your cookies so they don't collect information about you.
You can actually block the advert as well. But then another advert comes up anyway, so it's difficult.
Exactly. And the times you end up saying, like, how did they manage to know about my interests, right?
Mm.
Okay. So in this slide, we're going to speak about ways and means to pay. Okay, some means are more used than others. At times we tend to go for a payment method, for example, standing orders, without considering ease of use, costs, and security. So practically here we have different payment methods, okay? Cash, checks, credit cards, debit cards, standing orders, and electronic payments. And at times we go for one and not for the other, without thinking about its usage, underlying costs, and its security. So some payment methods, as you might know, come at a cost. And this is usually another thing which we fail to ponder upon. And one of costs is one thing, recurring charges are another. So how do you normally pay for your purchases?
By my phone, I tap it.
My card.
Credit card.
By card.
So I think we need to make sure, right, that the service users, at least, whichever payment method they choose, they think about the cost, its security, and its real usage, okay? For example, I don't know, have you ever pondered about if there's an alternative method which could be which could be more advantageous? To give you an example, okay? Since a year ago, I started to use, I don't want to make adverts, but since a year ago, to give you an example, I started to use Revolut. Why? Because practically it keeps all my expenses, right? And at the end of the month, I would be able to really check where my money would have gone.
You can set vaults on it as well.
Exactly.
And you can, like, your change goes into a vault every week.
Exactly. In fact, I do it. I use it as well to save some money daily, right?
Exactly.
Exactly, yes.
With the, sorry,
It's
can I
okay.
just comment on this?
Yes.
With the checks of the Social Security going directly to the bank now, they're going to need a card to withdraw the money. No?
Yes.
Obviously the card, I don't think they have another alternative. No, I don't know. Will anyone suggest any alternative besides queuing up at the bank to get their money? It's a question.
But are you referring, sorry to ask, are you sorry to clarify, are you referring to pensioners who need a card to withdraw the money when
People
their
are
pension?
our clients, people that we are usually in contact with. People are generally receive social benefits, either pensions or other sort of benefits. Now they don't have a check. They have to deal either with electronic with the ATM or with the bank anyway. They don't go to check the cashless check and have the money in their hands.
Yes,
They have to do something else. You understand? So I think the card. Sorry, tell me.
No, I was going to ask you what type of problems are they encountering?
No, I'm asking whether there is an alternative for them, because the only way I'm seeing is that they get a cash link or a quick cash, whatever, the card, and they withdraw from the ATM. But I'm asking if there's another way for doing it, or if that's the only way they can do it. That's my question.
Yes, lately, I don't know if this helps. Lately, something that I learned a couple of days ago. One can choose even to give the Revolut IBAN. So Social Security is accepting Revolut IBAN. So the money goes into Revolut, and then, as you said, I don't know if it's you or another participant, they can save money from there. They can pay. They can transfer into their bank account.
Please, may I add something?
Yes.
Many of the pensioners, they don't know how to use the ATM, for example. They have the card and they find it difficult.
Yes, I know.
Recently, I met a woman waiting outside, near the ATM to find somebody she knows so that she will do it for her.
Which is a
risk. She can give him the PIN number,
Which is
and do it for her.
If I may,
think that's a problem, eh?
If I may, this is exactly why we're having this training and why we'll be doing these sessions in the community. So yes, we know we are aware that these are real issues. Let's take note of these, please. I didn't take note of who was speaking just before me. Please write this in your evaluation form, because we'll need to see the differences between localities and the needs. But this is why we are looking into, and we are going through this material to know, to agree that this material is what we need to go out there and put into practice and explain in different manners to different populations.
And may I say something, please?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
So as Catherine Flerisola was asking about people who are unfamiliar with, or probably somebody else said they're unfamiliar with using the ATM, and you suggested Revolut. Well, because they're of a certain age, maybe they don't want a BOV card and also a Revolut card. I don't know, again, if this is wrong, what I'm suggesting, but there's BOV Mobile and there's BOV Pay. So if we can teach them that, it's so easy, like one of the girls said, to tap your phone. If they know how to use their card on their phone, they don't even need to carry a physical card. Like when I go for my walk, I only take my phone, because I know I can pay with my phone. And there's BOV Mobile. If between themselves one pays for a coffee, they can transfer money using just the SMS number. So they don't even need an IBAN of anybody else. If they're sending €2 to their friend for coffee, for example, those are ways to pay which we can teach them. It's not that hard.
There's many people like my parents who have the simple basic mobile. They can only send the SMS and call. So they have an even bigger problem.
I'm very wary of these technological ways, to be honest, because there's a strata of society which won't be able to use them or won't even afford to have a good mobile to use them. So we have to offer the people out there basic means as well.
I'm sorry, yes, of course, yes. And then Revolut is there with the card, otherwise you can teach them that. Because the Revolut card you can use in the BOV ATM or the HSBC ATM as well. Thank you.
Okay, may I ask you to enlist this problem that I already knew about it, okay? Because I too have an old age mother, okay? She doesn't know how to use the card, so I end up every Sunday withdrawing money for her. So I'm aware of it. Can you enlist it just the same, okay? And I think we need to, I empathize with them. We need to empathize with them because they cannot learn to use the card from one day to another neither. Maybe service providers can help, can teach them basic skills, okay? Of how to go, withdraw your money, withdraw the money that you require, maybe even to pay with the card, okay? Obviously, this means patience, repetition.
And I don't think it's a question of age, it's a question of education as well. So
yes.
But can I point something out, please?
Sure.
We have families, we have families who are not in a position or cannot, for some reason or other, open a bank account.
This is what I'm saying.
Hi, Miriam. Hi, Glenn. If I may, Pam, add something, as you mentioned, Pam, I think we should list these scenarios and we'll see how we can address them in this presentation. I think this feedback is very positive, and that's why we wanted to do this session. Let's enlist these scenarios and we'll see how we can tackle them. Maybe we can organize sessions at our branches and we can show these people how to use an ATM. No problem at all about it, but let's list them and we'll tackle them slowly.
Yes, and at the cost of being boring, let me please repeat, do enlist them in the evaluation form. I'm sending it right now so that we will make sure you all have it, because having them in one place is one of the ways of being efficient. Thank you.
Apart from teaching them how to use the ATM, we could also write it down for them. So even if some people, it just won't go through, especially when they're older. And if they take it with them each time to guide them what to do, what to press, for example, for withdrawal, to transfer one account to the other, I think that would help them as well.
We also have videos which we can share with you or embed them in this presentation, how to use an ATM, etc. But we'll work on those. Send us your feedback and let us know what you would like to be added with this presentation, and we'll do that.
If I may just add, as Miriam already said, one of the major issues with our service users is that not all are in a position to own a bank account. So you have to think of those people too. It's not the fact of not knowing how to use or not being able
to have.
Not being able to have because of certain issues. That is a big, I think it's a big issue.
Okay, we'll tackle that as well, no problem.
And if I can add, sorry. Hello.
Someone has two devices open in the same room. So
yes, there's interference, in fact, yeah.
But if they're next to each other, one needs to be muted or switched.
It's only one I had. Okay, let me mute myself. Okay, better now?
Yes, Mark.
Okay. All right, I didn't realize I had to on. I'm in business myself and I use a lot of internet banking. What we have to make users also aware of is that when transferring money between banks, there are charges. All right, they're not going to go over the 1,000 euros, so it's not the 4 euro charge they will be getting, just the €1 charge. But when you don't have money and you have to spend €1 every time, that's a problem.
And Mark, as I said earlier, there's a difference between a one-off payment, a one-off charge of €1, and recurring charges. Because if it's going to happen once every month, it's already €12 a year.
Exactly.
Okay. Just enlist, please, your worries, your queries on the evaluation sheet. Okay. It helps us because as you might know, I speak of myself. I work at head office. I mean, I work with files and papers. You meet service users, so you actually know what's happening out there, okay? And thank you for that. So, budgeting. Budgeting is how you manage your money, as you already know. It's an exercise that compares your monthly income and your monthly expenses. Money going in against money going out. Its difference, I mean, what you gain less what you spend reflects on your budget. If negative, it means you are overspending. If positive, it means you have spare saved money. These are actually slides and text which you can use, okay? And that's why I said it's going to be made available. So, this I use, this I like. The 50-30-20 rule for budgeting. 50% allocated toward needs, 30% towards wants, 20% towards savings. Ideally, it should be the other way around, and that 50 towards needs, needs are there, and expenses related to them need to be paid. 20% towards savings. Savings can be for short-term goals, long-term ones. We all have aims and objectives, and it can also include saving for a retirement egg nest, okay? And 30 towards wants. What is not spent or wants is saved. Okay, I'm not going to follow these links. Okay, as the presentation will be made available, as said, with links you may follow. Okay, part 2, savings. My savings.
I don't seem to be seeing this. I'm stuck at budgeting for some reason. The slide.
Now?
Perfect.
Okay, no problem. It's okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So why is saving so important? For various reasons outlined here, okay? You plan a financial goal, like a holiday or studying abroad. You plan a family goal, like buying a house and having children. You plan a treat for yourself or for your family. It can be a car or, I don't know, a day by the pool. You plan a safety net to handle unexpected expenses. This is usually referred to as the rainy day fund. You plan for your retirement. You expect a decent quality of life on your retirement. And you definitely need to have more income than what the state pension will give you. You need to save also to invest. Money put to use, and money needs to be put to use. As if it's left idle, it won't gain you any interest, okay? So how do you save? There are quite a few: a piggy bank, a current account, a savings account, a fixed deposit account, in a private pension plan, in government bonds, stocks, shares, and in property. So, however, there is a rule: the higher the return, the higher the risk. When an investment offers a high rate of return, especially in a short period of time, you need to know that this means the investment is risky. There is no easy money, okay? Okay, so are you aware of the difference between these different types of savings and which could be the more relevant to you? Or do you think I will change the question a bit? Do you think that the service users know about different types of savings?
Well, I think the issue is that most of our service users are not able to save at the moment. So they might be aware of the different types of savings, but they have an issue.
Okay, so they don't manage to cater for all the expenses, or else they don't manage or else they end up paying what's necessary without being able to save.
If the social benefit check is for 150 and they have a rent of 700 euros, it's a problem for them to save.
What can they say?
What is may I ask you a question, because I told you beforehand, I work at Social Security as well. What if they do not manage? Let's say they do not manage, and they come to you and they tell you we don't manage to cater for our needs. What would you do? What do you do?
They end up over indebted, and most of the time they go over to agencies or diaconia units and ask for support, whether we could support them with food, help them to pay any bills. And there are some organizations that have funds. So,
excuse me, in fact, that is not
besides, may I add the realities of people choosing to eat once a day rather than twice.
That's it. They do not even live hand to mouth, you know, because they don't even have that privilege. They are all bill minus. So I think we help them pay with the rent. We help them pay the rent, the electricity bills. Yes, I mean, it is a reality. We pay for schooling, for all the things the children need for school, all the photocopies. Yes. So I think saving is beyond them.
Because as I think Melanie said, if they cannot manage to pay for all the needed expenses, let alone save.
That is the situation. These are the situations we are facing. I mean, all types of families, different ages. You have pensioners in one situation, you have families in another situation. I mean, these are it's not that they live beyond the means. They don't earn enough, or they are not in a position to acquire enough income to be able to live adequately. I mean, this is the reality of the situation we are facing.
Do childcare centers help?
But childcare centers have to be employed
and both parents have to be employed.
To leave their kids until they work.
But sometimes
with what they're going to pay the childcare? It's not. They have to be working. Both parents have to be working to benefit from free childcare, and they cannot benefit from free childcare immediately. It's not. All that glitter is not good. Don't you believe me?
Besides, I think it's a vicious circle. Some of them
we have the working poor as well. We have people who are working and they're still poor. They still don't catch up with the
expenses
because their pay is minimal.
Okay, can you enlist these scenarios as well, please?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Part 3, debt. Okay.
Pam, could I? Sorry, I think somebody else has her name.
Yes,
hand
sure.
up.
Hi, hello. I would like to ask a question because I joined a bit later.
No problem.
You as a person, you're coming from the bank, right?
No.
No,
I work at the Department of Social Security and with Gemma as well.
All right. Oh, no, I mean, I think a lot of people here work much more directly than me when it comes to this one. I just joined this volunteer lately, so Albert knows about that. But the thing is, since I'm even when it comes to budgeting, sometimes something that we see is, I mean, I see it from an external side that I don't work in the social sector, but I used to work in finances as well. But when it comes to budgeting and it's something that at school, how we should save as, let's say, tackle the secondaries. I don't know from where. I mean, at times we're not addressing even at a younger age how they should borrow as long as the families don't teach them. Okay, so it could be, I'm not saying that the school should do this, but maybe, I don't know if banks can do a bit more at schools on how to budget, because when I see at times, even sometimes they don't know what a tax return is, or if their personal tax return, they don't know how to read pay slips. They don't know how to open accounts. So at times you see people that unfortunately, even if they are at a younger age, they don't know how to tackle life out there. Imagine if in your family you don't have your parents, because if you are living in certain problems, I'm sure that, and unfortunately, I mean, all the social workers here are meeting. So I don't know if
yes, schools are on the list of where we will go to with these sessions.
In fact, I was going to say that one of Gemma's objectives is to reach children, students, to narrow the gap.
Yes, the Gemma initiative and the Gemma project, when I saw it, because there was a way, I don't know, a generation where we use, let's say, okay, to buy a property today, everyone takes a loan, even people who have high income. Imagine you need to rent. So
which is more expensive.
That we are facing, but it was even, for example, if you want, let's say, a holiday, you need to borrow. If you want something, you need to borrow. So that one now, the Gemma project is very, very good, because you're, let's say, teaching a generation first save. And these projects are very good, because if they are not they don't live in a family where people can, parents, they are not like where you know how to save or how to use your money. Unfortunately, okay, then there are the other situations, let's say health and everything, which are beyond our control. So if there, I mean, I don't, if there are other projects yet that are being done and addressed as well from.
Yes.
And that was my point.
I understand you, because I'm a mother myself. So I think I see the difference between what students learn at school, the knowledge, and the reality out there. But as I said, yes, Gemma will be reaching students in their primary years and then their secondary years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
And savings as well, even, let's say, when for example, they, how you can apply for work, all right, so there's registrations. But at times, unfortunately, there's a lot of missing education gaps. I know there are big difficulties, so I can imagine, not I can understand, I can imagine some situations, but I'm sure out there are a lot of people who are helping, but not knowing, at times even people who know that they are earning income, they don't know how to read their payslip, or they don't know that when it comes to tax or a simple, so these are all financial literacy that have to be addressed from different parts. It's not only from banks, maybe even from other departments, or in, because if out there they don't know.
I think schools will definitely help, though, because they will surely help to amalgamate what they study, tax, and and as I said beforehand, reality. Something that happened to me, which I would like to share. I mean, when I finished my studies, I remember my dad making me sit at table, literally sit at table, and explaining to me what gross wage is, net pay, your take-home pay, your contribution, the contributions that I need to pay, the taxes. So that's important as well, because as you said, at times they are not mentioned in the school subjects, but need to be taught and need obviously to be learned. So,
yes,
I agree with you.
because we were lucky because we had our parents. Not everyone has this thing, and unfortunately, there's education to address the adults, and there's an education to at least if those children are not luckily enough, or they know how to fend out there when they start working. So. Thanks.
And you're welcome. And it has a ripple effect as well, because if you try not to pay contributions, okay, it will have a negative effect on your pension rate in the future.
Yes. Okay.
So
and
yes.
Also there are a lot of people who work even without a work job, and then they come to know that they're not paying their. So yes.
I don't think they some actually know the meaning behind paying contributions. To give you an example, to mention just a few, right? Okay. Please jot them down, okay, in your evaluation sheet, please.
Okay.
Because it's something we're going to keep, and it's something we're going to evaluate, okay?
Can I comment, please?
Yeah, sure.
People who are my age, 60 plus, and who are in government schools, we used to have bankers coming to the school to collect our savings. And we had a small bank book, which we used to take to school whenever the banker came. And I think that is something that maybe the education lost, you know, of bringing the bank to the children at school. Another issue is also something that always struck me when I was younger, was a membership fee. And I remember the person in charge of this club where I used to attend used to tell us, this membership fee is for you to learn that if you rent a place, you will have a monthly or a yearly rent for you to think about. So I think these are small examples of how people nowadays, children nowadays, who maybe have more challenging economical factors than we had in the past, can benefit from.
Something I would like to mention as well, I don't know if you've seen this, practically Gemma has a Money Monsters game that help kids to become more financially capable, okay? It's available. If you go on gemma.gov.mt, it's available there. So as I said beforehand, Gemma already is already doing a lot, is trying to reach out and will do its best to do more. Okay, obviously, but as I said beforehand, based even on what you say, okay, what you suggest, okay, because you are there to meet the public out there. Okay, thank you. So, 9:22. Okay, borrowing and debt.
I think Marie Shibaras wants to say something, but she's muted.
Yes, sure.
Yes, I think I wish to say something.
Sorry, I missed that.
It's okay. The fact remains, like, for example, when I work with refugees who do not have even an ID card, then even from the social services department, we have problems because nothing is registered. So they not only, they cannot cope with the little money they get when they work, which obviously they don't even have a work permit. I mean, they don't pay the contribution because they cannot. The rent is high. They cannot apply for subsidy of water and electricity bills. So I think everything escalates, and I think this is maybe we can have two ideas, you know, for those budgeting for those people who have a little, but we have to provide something for those who have nothing. And I think the issue with social services is great because I accompany a lady and nothing and nowhere with social services, I'm afraid. Just because she's still an asylum seeker, not even granted the refugee status, which leaves her really, not like a human being.
And unfortunately, problems tend to create more problems then.
Yes.
I work in the contributory section, okay? Basically on pensions, invalidities, retirement, disability. So can you note that down, please, as well?
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
May I ask a question now, please?
Yeah, sure.
You missed a slide where you were asking us about the different ways of saving, and if we are going to go out there and teach them, would you be able to go through the points briefly? Because you went away from that slide because some people said that there are people who have no savings, but if we do meet people who wish to save, then we need to be able to advise them about the different ways. It was a couple of slides ago. I think you just...
Yes, okay, listen, because of timing, can you leave, if it's okay for you, your email address so that we could get back to you?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Okay, I think you're speaking about the list of saving techniques.
That's right, yes.
Okay, can you leave your contact email address, please?
Yes, thank you.
I will be eager to share the knowledge that I have, okay?
Thank you, Gemma.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pam.
Welcome. So, when you do not have enough money for what you want to buy, okay, you borrow and you enter into debt. When debt is not paid, interest is accumulated and charges by the bank, meaning fines, might be issued. So when debt cannot be paid, one needs to inform the bank immediately there and then. Okay, so borrowing is a good thing insofar as you borrow responsibly. Borrowing is a convenient way for you to purchase something. One second. Okay. Sorry about that. Borrowing is a convenient way for you to purchase something that you would otherwise take a long time to save up for. Most people cannot afford to pay outright for a home. Most borrow a large part of the purchase price except for the down payment. And the down payment being the sum of money you pay in the initial stages, okay, which is decreased from the total amount. Most of the time, without a down payment, you cannot proceed with the purchase. In a nutshell, when you borrow money, let's say for a home, that home loan actually gives you the opportunity to live in it whilst you pay it off in installments. There are other reasons for that. Slide 24, this slide shows some underlying reasons to buy a car, to buy an expensive TV, to buy a laptop, to expand your business. We will settle an overdraft, meaning you borrow money. There are people out there who borrow money because their bank account is in deficit, minus, I call it in the red, caused by drawing more money than what was actually available in the account. Okay, are you aware of actual cost of your debt? Do you have a plan how you will repay your debt? Obviously for those who actually have one.
If I may point, there are some points with regards to debt that are missing. The families that we support, they have debts with the grocery stores, for example, and sometimes they end up to even thousands, hundreds, and we sometimes even seen thousands. And we have debts for rent payment with private rent tenants. So, and sometimes they don't have any loan overdraft, bank overdraft to help to settle these debts. So the issue is that there is a lack of debt advisory services in Malta where these people could turn to get advice on how they can actually, from the little amount of money they are earning, how they can start settling such debts.
Okay, good point. Yes.
O dawk li they borrow illegally.
Yes, I think you're speaking about the loan sharks, in fact, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And
but not only loan sharks, because with the grocery store.
Yes, you told me so. Yes.
It's still
and even with ours,
it's still debt. At the end, Melanie, at the end of the day, it's still debt. It's still money owned to the shop.
And owns with the arms, for example, for unpaid water and electricity bills, the telephone bills, the mobile bills, they all start accumulating. And they'll have an accumulation of a lot of needs bills, because water and electricity is a need, but it's an accumulated bill, it's an accumulated debt.
What we are coming across, if I may add, is people having debt with the social housing. They already have a low rent next to the people who are renting from the private sector, and they are not honoring the social housing rents, which are very, very low, especially those who their rent hasn't been upgraded to date.
When you say, sorry to ask, when you say social housing, do you mean housing authority?
Yes, yes. I mean, most of our clients, most of them are in social housing. Not the majority, but most of them. So they are not even, and their rent, if I'm not mistaken, is paid every 3 months.
If I may ask, yes, I need to ask this question, I think, to Bernadette and Melanie and to the rest of the participants. If I may ask, when these issues arise, do you communicate with the housing authority? Do you communicate with the
Yes, we
arms?
do.
Can you do
Yes,
it?
we do. First of all, we try to see why they fell behind with these payments.
Okay.
Some would have reasonable reasons, I mean, credible reasons why. Others sometimes have the tendency that, it's the government can wait. The government won't throw me out of the place. But I mean, we are having situations where the social housing, and I don't blame them, are putting their foot down. And it's only fair, I think, when you compare people who are renting at 700 a month and people who have this luxury of having rent paid every 3 months, I think then it becomes a bit of an unjust situation. And we are there to help our clients, but to help them take the responsibility when they can afford to do so. But let's say if an illness crops in or a sudden death crops in and the financial situation of the family, goes berserk, that you understand.
Okay.
The rent is like you're saving. You have to save up for a rent, eh?
So we need you to teach financial behaviors.
Yes.
Okay, because as you said, okay, there are unpredictable causes like that.
Yes, like
sudden
that.
illness. But then there are others who might be, as you said, they might be like, it's the government. So as you said, they can wait.
Yes, even for the electricity, I'm amazed of how they run electricity into thousands of euros. We had one particular case, 15,000 euros. Then we have, there is the arms now are looking into these cases and checking if there are any appliances, for example, that are using too much electricity. They are all there. So, the help from the Arms Limited is there, and we send them these bills for them to have them checked. We don't get a feedback because that's something between the Arms and the client. But, there are ways and means of how people are being assisted. I think, there's even an element of educating our clients that, you try not to abuse the system, because sometimes I do feel a little element in that section.
But then there is also the problem of the landlord not registering the number of persons accordingly.
But we are saying about the government here, the social housing, not the private.
I'm talking about the arms bills. It's not that they have all the appliance. That matters also. If, for example, there are 0 number of persons registered and there are 5, 6 living, they lose the eco-contribution tax. It's registered as domestic and not residential or vice versa. I don't know exactly. And it's much more higher, the rate.
If I may say, let's put it this way. Arms, you get all sorts and all kinds. You have people who have fallen back in their expenses and who say, I don't want to do anything about it. But there are obviously those genuine cases that no matter what you do, these cannot be paid up. I mean,
Agreed.
This is a situation where these people, their income is as low as 400 or 500 euros a month. Now, there are people who do set up and endorse an agreement with Arms Limited and also with the rents department, with the lands department regarding rents paid in. But once again, if the income is of 400 or 500 and they have to pay out of this 100 euros for Arms and another amount for the rent, and then you have to pay out the current expenses of both the rent and the water and the electricity, and they have to live.
Yes.
I mean, these
as
are
a matter of fact, what you're saying is that we are meeting clients who, in our opinion, have made a high agreement when they cannot afford it.
But like they don't let them do it less, Ben.
I know we are trying to negotiate it for some clients.
We have clients. If the least you can do is 100 euros a month.
I will have to take a bit the floor here. I know that we are all very keen and we have we live with these realities. So obviously they are real to us. But if I may.
I'm going to stop you a bit. In fact, I was going to tell them that such sessions benefit service users and benefit us to come up with solutions, to come up with what needs to be done out there.
And that will be our work during these 2 years. We will be going out with what comes out of this session, not with these slides, مش بالفرص those slides, but with what comes out of these sessions to our community, to the parish community, where we will be making efforts for the parish to arrive to schools, to collaborate with local councils, to work on these issues and be able, hopefully, to bring the network of help together and close the gaps so that as less people as possible fall actually through. So yes, this is the beginning of our efforts, but and the continuation of what you have been doing in your communities, not really the beginning. If I may, just to make best use of our time together, let's go through this session and see what this brings up to us, so that then we reevaluate and we'll be able to go out to the communities with something real and that makes sense. As we are saying, some things will need a bit of rejuggling, but yes, that's why this session. So yes, it's obvious that the vibe is there. It's ringing bells here. So yes, let's go through this session and then we build up on it.
Okay. Thank you. It's okay. So as the text to white color highlights, borrowing is a good thing insofar as you borrow responsibly. By borrowing responsibly, I mean make sure that you can afford the repayments of a debt you are entering in, limit financing of a holiday or a need through a loan or a credit card. Try to save, one needs to try to save for it, right? If you use your credit card to finance a holiday, at least you need to make sure that you can afford the monthly repayments. It is unwise to borrow to settle other debts. If you are already deep in debt, going further into debt is probably not the best solution. Do not borrow to follow the latest fad or gadgets. There are many phone models, that are affordable and will provide you with more functionalities that you will ever use. Okay, obviously enough, the most important rule is that one should never borrow from loan sharks. Okay, so affordable debt, it depends on your income. One needs to calculate total monthly disposable income, meaning all your income minus the taxes you have to pay, okay? And obviously your contributions that you have to pay. That's what normally we call your take-home pay. Then you calculate your total monthly debt repayments, which cover the interest and capital. and this is quite important. This I learned through time. If your repayments exceed 25% of your monthly disposable income, it means you have probably outstretched yourself with debt. It's too much. Okay, when considering your income, base yourself on your regular income and don't be misled by one-off or temporary income when calculating your affordability. Usually we are misled with one-off monetary presents, one-off allowances, so those need to be put aside. We need to consider the actual income we gain a month or every 4 weeks. Okay. So unless you manage your credit card debt well, you are likely to pay far more than you should on the debt you incurred through its use. Another important issue is that one needs not have more than 2 credit cards. So if you have more than 1 credit card, pay the credit on the one with the highest interest rate first. These are, as I said beforehand, this is steps that you can use. Okay, feel free to use even words that are understandable. Okay, by your service users. So pay more than the minimum repayment. Try to repay as much as you can, even if you only increase it by a small amount each month. It can make a huge difference. Ideally, one sets up a direct debit to make sure and a payment is never missed. One needs to watch out for penalties. If you miss a payment or go over your limit, you may be charged a penalty or your interest rate may go up. Another thing, repay your credit card debts with savings given the current low interest on savings, okay? You will save money on credit card interests, which are high. So you decrease the first priorities, decrease the debt on the credit card. Okay, risk. So understanding risk. Your aim is to meet your goals, protect your capital, and maximize returns without exposing yourself too much to danger. Okay, when do you start investing? Obviously, this is for the cohort who really does manage to save, okay? When you know your needs, your goals, and your risk tolerance. I mean, am I able to await? Am I able to invest and have something in return? When you have done an investment plan, considering different types of products, obviously not just one product or not just one provider, and choosing the one that best suits you among many alternatives. Because some immediately like adverts, no? Some immediately hear of something and go for it without analyzing other choices. When you have checked all the charges involved, as you know, there are hidden charges. When you have got plenty of money in your cash savings account, enough to cover you for at least 6 months, and you want to see your money grow over the long term, then you should consider investing some of it. Okay. So 9 important points. Anything you put your money into should meet your goals and suit you. No one can guarantee the performance of any investment. You may lose some or all of your money if something goes wrong. As I said before, and this applies to a different cohort, okay? The rate of return offered is not the only way to assess how risky an investment is. High return means high risk is a familiar rule of thumb. Some investments, even if they seem to offer relatively moderate returns, can be extremely risky. So one needs to take time and one needs to research before deciding what to invest in. Another important point, you are taking a big risk if you put all your money into one investment, into one portfolio. Spreading your money between, spreading your money among different investment types reduces the risk of losing everything. Because one might one might be more beneficial than the other. Do not invest if you do not understand the product. This is very important. Always seek professional advice from a licensed financial advisor before you decide to invest. And never invest in something simply because your friend is doing so. Okay. Are you familiar with cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin? Its value is extremely volatile, so it can go up by a lot or go down by a lot. Is this what is suitable? Is this what you think is suitable for you? I think you've heard about it, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Do you think service users are aware of it, or that it's extremely risky and that its value can go up and down immediately?
No.
I doubt it.
They're just unaware, and probably best at this stage not to encourage.
They might have heard it in the news being discussed by a minister.
But not tried it, I think.
I don't think the people will go into this thing.
I don't think many people, yeah.
I mean, you have to keep in mind the kind of
far away, yeah?
Bitcoin, even when let's say we know about it, some of us, but not everyone is under it. I mean, Revolut, maybe it became much more used even with people who have income and everything because it's quite monitoring. But Bitcoin, it's even a new area, even for people who have a stable income. Imagine for people who are struggling, because these people that you're mentioning, they are struggling even to have a job. Some of people,
exactly. So the few they have saved, they shall not invest it in risky investments.
They don't even have money to invest.
From the chair. So there are people who mentioned that the income is 400, 500. Is for 400, 500 when the basic the minimum wage of a full-time job should be, let's say, I think 700 or 800 a minimum wage, or because the person is found a work which is part-time. So there are a lot of questions when it comes to go to this topic. For example,
they could be on social benefits though.
But at this point, I think it's important for them to know about it for a reason. Imagine a friend would tell them, listen, you've got 400 euro from the Social Security Department, try to invest it in Bitcoin for the amount to double itself. So in that way, at least they know that they should not go for it from the beginning.
That's agreed. That's okay. Yes, it's a prevention, what you're saying, to
Yes.
prevent them from falling into financial traps.
Exactly.
And I think the topic needs to be more brought up with the younger generation, because I think they are more prone to risk and experiment in the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin.
And there's a tendency, I think, not a tendency, because tendency is a huge word, they tend to be, some persons tend to double their money instantly, to increase their money instantly. So they tend to go for risky products, thinking that from one day to another they're going to double what they have.
Instant gratification, they used to call it.
Yes, exactly. Instant pleasure. Okay.
Quick fixes.
Yes, for quick solutions, unfortunately.
Yes, sometimes that is why they go and borrow money for a quick fix.
Even through Revolut nowadays, you can try and invest in shares and stuff like that, and you try to improve what you're saving. So,
but it's that's why I said I was like, maybe they need to know about it, but to be cautious, because saving. Let's speak about Revolut. Saving in a vault, in a saving vault, is one thing. Using it to try to gain more is another thing. Yes.
I agree. Yes, for general knowledge, yes, it will serve.
Okay, so insurance is a means of protecting yourself against risk. Okay, insurance is a means of protection from financial loss. It is a form of risk management, primarily used to hedge against the risk of an uncertain loss. And an insurance company provides insurance products, obviously. Okay, as I said beforehand, it's for another cohort. There are different types of insurances, as you know: health insurance, life insurance, loan coverage insurance. You need that to go for a loan. You need that to purchase a home. Pet insurance, car insurance, expensive items insurance, home insurance, loan coverage, travel insurance, and the COVID-19 insurance. Okay. I'm just going to read through this, okay? So how insurance works going abroad. Decide the travel insurance coverage you want can include cancellation of flights, being stranded, and you need extra accommodation, injury abroad, die abroad, having your stuff stolen, baggages lost, and the need for replacement clothes. Shop around, however, do not go for just the cheapest. This is something you can use with your cohorts, okay? You need to shop around, not to go for the immediate service or the immediate product. Ask about the insurer. Do they pay out? Do they make it difficult or impossible when you submit a claim? Read the small print in the policy document and make sure you ask the right questions. Even this you can instill in your service users to ask the right questions to ask, and not to hesitate to ask, not to feel afraid to ask. Do not just gloss over it and sign. If something happens to you abroad, make sure you get the paperwork. If your stuff is stolen, go to the police, report the theft, ask for a signed police report. Even these are something that you can use with them. Make sure you get receipts of your stuff you need to buy. Do not be greedy. If your clothes are normal, do not buy branded replacements. This will raise questions from your insurance, and they will ask you for the receipts of the clothes you lost, which you probably threw away the very day you bought the stuff. Obviously, this is linked to insurance, but you can pinpoint some things that you can use with your service users. Okay. Anyone can be a scam victim. Will you be one? The answer is definitely no, and should be no. Okay, again, this is important for them, for your cohort, yes. Malware can steal browsing history, IDs and passwords, credit card numbers, contact information. This data can be sold and allow other scammers to operate: credit card frauds, direct debit frauds, and impersonation frauds. Obviously, with your groups, I would go for don't save the passwords. At times, a window crops up, like no, asking you to save the password. I never accepted that. Okay, these are three types of identity theft: phishing, vishing, and smishing. By phishing, by pretending to be financial institutions or companies, thieves can send fake emails, or these are interesting, or pop-up messages to get you to reveal your personal information. Vishing or phone scams, these typically involve fraudsters deceiving people into believing they are speaking to an unofficial person. And smishing, SMS phishing, okay? This is when someone tries to trick you into giving them your private information via text or SMS message. I mean, something that I would like to point out again, and through personal experience, is that don't at times we tend to take it for granted, no? Like I won't be a victim. I would like to speak about this. I bought a parcel from abroad. I work with money. I pay attention a lot. My partner too. But what happened? I bought a parcel from abroad. I was at work. He got these famous messages like that he needed to pay €1.99 for the parcel. It coincided with the delivery time, so he paid it. I mean, you know about it. It was on the news as well. He paid it. When the delivery guy came home, and my partner was like, listen, you know that I had to pay €1.99 to get this parcel delivered, and obviously to cut a long story short, he realized it was a scam. So I mean, we reported to finance, but it happened to us as well. So not to take things for granted. Okay, 10 anti-scam commandments. Watch out for scams. Do not respond. Do not agree to an offer straight away. Ask yourself who you are really dealing with. Do not let scammers push your buttons. Keep your computer secure. Only pay online using a secure payment service. Never send money to someone you do not know and trust. Protect your identity. If you have spotted a scam, spread the word. I wish also to point out that Gemma has various resources that you can use. Okay, with your service users. They are under the heading resources. They are free of charge. There are also infographics about them. Okay, these are password tips. Never share your passwords or pins with others. Use strong passwords and pins. Do not use the name of your pet, family member, school, favorite team, or anything that somebody could easily guess. Always log off. Avoid entering passwords on computers you don't control. Avoid using passwords when using unsecured Wi-Fi connections. Okay, this is something that you can use as well. What to do if you are a victim of a fraud or scam? Contact cybercrime unit at the Malta Police Force. Contact your bank immediately. If you are the victim of a debit or credit card fraud, do the same if you lose your debit or credit card. Okay, final advice. Although finance-related matters may look complex, if these are broken down into simple steps, they can be easily assimilated. Okay, I imagine all this as pieces of a jigsaw puzzle that together they make a whole at the end. To manage your finances properly, always collect the relevant information, analyze the information, ask for help from authorized persons when you are not clear about something, seek professional assistance when you find yourself overwhelmed by your financial situation. Okay, and I hereby thank you for your participation, okay? And I wait eagerly for your feedback on the evaluation sheet. I'm going to ask for that.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
I'm sure that this will be a very good start for our project. I think we have to also realize, and I already got some feedback about this, that there will be different parts of the presentation that need to be adapted to different populations. At least today, though, we have the big picture. What we would like to deliver to the community in general. Of course, that is why it's a 2-year program. This is why we are working through our communities, through our parishes, to make sure that, as I said at the very beginning, the information and the education that needs to happens in a language and in a way that makes sense to the population we are reaching in the different moments of our project. Thank you, Pam. And thank you, everyone. I really look forward. I already sent the email with the link to the evaluation form. We will be in touch soon with suggestions on how to go forward. And obviously, we are very keen on seeing this getting off even in our parishes, in our communities. That will be obviously the drivers to reach out to the different areas in our communities, the people in need, the schools, the local councils, etc. But yes, thank you.
I see it, Albert. I see it as a starting point.
Yes, it is definitely. We look forward to moving ahead. Thank you very much, and good evening to everybody.